from Politico, and I love it. They used this little picture of Joe Biden giving what looks like a wink. Wink. It says Biden White House is discussing preemptive pardons for those in Trump's crosshairs. The nomination of Kash Patel, who has vowed to pursue Trump's critics as FBI director, has heightened concerns within the president's inner circle. They say Biden's aides are deeply concerned about a range of current and former officials who could find themselves facing inquiries and even indictments. A sense of alarm, which has only accelerated since Trump's last weekend announced the appointment of Kash Patel, to lead the FBI. Patel has publicly vowed to pursue Trump's critics. Yes, but not because they're his critics. He's going to pursue them for being criminals. And it just so happens that criminals don't want to be held accountable, so they criticize the person who wants to hold them accountable. You see how that works, Politico? They go on to add that White House officials are carefully weighing the extraordinary step of handing out blanket pardons to those who've committed no crimes. I love this, okay? I just want to stress this. Who've committed no crimes, they say. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like now to give you an example of why you watch this show and why we hate the corporate press and the fake news, the corporate media. They go on to say, those who could face exposure included such members of Congress, January 6th committee, as Senator-elect Adam Schiff. They sat GOP Rep Liz Cheney of Wyoming, former rep. Trump had previously said Cheney should go to jail along with the rest of the unselect committee. Also mentioned by Biden's aides for a pardon is Anthony Fauci, the former head of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, who became a lightning rod for criticism from the right during the COVID pandemic. Now, let me just stress this. As it says, who've committed no crimes. I want to say it again. Politico says, who've committed no crimes. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Newsweek.com. On their X account from September 9th, 2021, newly released grant proposals indicate the National Institutes of Health funded controversial gain-of-function research appearing to contradict what Dr. Anthony Fauci had said previously. Then we have the actual article. And the headline is, Fauci was untruthful to Congress about Wuhan lab research, new documents appear to show. Let me make sure it's really easy for y'all to understand. And I'm not talking about the audience, the core audience, because I love and respect you guys. I'm talking about the corporate press, the Democrats, and the people who seem to just believe all of those lies. I'll make it simple for you guys. From gosar.house.gov. Dr. Fauci testified under oath before the United States Senate that the National Institute of Health had not funded gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, yet a report by Project Veritas proves that Dr. Fauci did in fact fund research in Wuhan, China, and several sites across the United States. Quote, Dr. Anthony Fauci has repeatedly lied to Congress and the American people throughout the entire COVID-19 pandemic. Let me then just jump back to Newsweek. Fauci was untruthful to Congress about Wuhan lab research. Can I throw it to the panel here? What is it called when you're under oath and you lie?
Perjury.
And is that a criminal offense?
Yes.
So that would mean that Fauci did in fact commit a crime.
If the Newsweek, they say it appears to show this. They haven't. It sounds like the Newsweek article hasn't confirmed.
No. Newsweek.
There's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Video of it.
No, Ian, read the headline.
That Fauci was untruthful to Congress about Wuhan lab research, new documents appear to show.
And now I'll give him, I'll give them that. Let's prove it in a court of law. Fine. And that's where they're going. But I will state definitively, as it is stated by a member of Congress as a statement of fact, Fauci lied under oath.
There's also a congressional register. Like everything that's said when they're in hearings, it's all written down and it goes into the congressional register. So he did actually say these things. There's no question about it. He has to be found. Obviously, he has to be brought before a judge and jury to be officially guilty. But there's no question about whether or not he said false statements. Yeah. Those things are. He actually did it. They're in the congressional register.
It was so egregious that Seamus and I actually ad-libbed this comedy bit that he has on his Freedom Tunes channel, where we were talking about, it's this viral video where Rand Paul is saying, Dr. Fauci, did you fund gain-of-function research? And he's like, we did not fund gain-of-function research. And then Rand Paul's like, I have here a document from the NIH with your name on it saying gain-of-function research. He's like, nope. It was a viral moment everybody saw happen, and nothing came of it.
It basically was like they asked him, "Did you do gain of function?" And he said, "No, we did. We did all the things. We function gained it." Like, Ian, are you sitting on a chair? No, I'm sitting on wood and plastic with wheels and leather.
Exactly.
Which is when saying no is the lie. basically. He could have said, if he didn't say no, if he just said, we did this, and he rephrased it and refused to answer, but if he actually said to
it's
him,
still
no,
a
we
lie.
didn't.
It's still a lie.
It's the Patrick Star meme where I don't know what the guy's name is. The character is like
Yeah.
holding the picture and he's like, so this is you, Dr. Fauci. Yes. And you run NIH. Yes. And you signed this document. I did. And this document says supporting gain of function research. Yes. And with submission, this got the funding transferred to NIH and Equal Health Alliance for gain of function research at the Wuhan lab. Yes. So you funded gain of function research. No.
Yeah, one other way that they were trying to weasel out of it was by saying that the NIH didn't fund the research. They funded, and then his point was, no, we funded a company called Eco Health Alliance that funded the gain of function for us. Or they didn't go as far as say for us. We funded a company that funded gain of function. So technically, we didn't fund gain of function. It's like me giving you $5 to give someone, Phil, or... obviously, they didn't acknowledge that they gave it to him to give to the person.
It's like when I was younger, you'd go to these keggers and then you'd walk in and you'd be like, where's the beer? Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't sell beer here. We sell cups. Beer's free. It's like, dude, cops aren't going to fall for that. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, this is essentially what Newsweek is doing right now, too, where they know he lied about it. They know that it's in, like, the congressional record, but they're saying he may have said this thing, reports show. So they're admitting it without admitting it.
Also, I think he was like a lapdog for the administration, so they want to get him off the hook. The administration's like, we're not gonna let you suffer for what we made you do on the stand.
I'm not so sure that he was made to do anything. Like he was in a position of authority, right? Like there wasn't people higher than Fauci saying, Fauci, do this. He was in a position he's what you call a shot caller. He was saying, we need to do this. We should do this. He was telling other people to do this. He was securing funding. He was not a victim. He was not there, doing some work for other people. He was in charge. Like the buck stops somewhere, and it stops with Dr. Fauci when it comes to the NIH.
He called himself the science for a long period of time.
I am the science.
Yeah.
It's not. He's not a patsy. And the way that you're framing it is like, some other people were doing. No. The buck stops with him. He was the guy. He was the shot caller.
My assumption is the executive branch made him do that stuff. But you think he just basically
that stuff doesn't go to the. Not that the president couldn't know, but things like everything doesn't go to the president, right? That's why you have administrations. That's why you have the director of the NIH. That's why you have the Secretary of Defense, the Secretary of State. Like, there are big things that are decided by the president that says, okay, this is the policy of the administration. This is the policy that we want. And then it's delegated down to the DNI, to your DOD, your people in charge of the DOD, the people at state, the people at HUD. All of these cabinets exist so that way the president doesn't have to be involved in the day-to-day operations of every single administration, all of the different bureaucracies. So when you're dealing with that's why cabinet level administration matters. Like, who is in charge of that's why it matters that Kennedy is going to be, is nominated to be in charge of the Health and Human Services, because he's the shot caller now. He's the guy that's saying, this is what we're going to do. He will discuss with the president, say, this is what the policy is going to be. The president says, this is what we want to do. And then he's going to say, okay, cool, I will go and execute it. And then how it gets executed is largely up to whoever's in charge of the particular bureaucracy.
One of the big challenges too for Trump in his first term was he trusted the experts. They'd go to him and say, look, Trump's sitting there thinking, look, I've got to negotiate this deal pertaining to the Red Sea and this trade route. I don't know what's going on with that health stuff. That's not my area. And the expert says, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, A, B, and C. And he goes, okay, go get it. Anyway, guys, what were you saying? And then Fauci ends up basically in charge of these things because Trump just said, sure. And it wasn't just Fauci, it was Birx as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I can't say it's all like executive branch fault, because remember, Fauci's Trump's guy, and he kind of just let him do whatever he wanted, even though he disagreed with it publicly.
So Trump made a very big mistake of thinking that he could be president. When he ran, they accused him of being a traitor. And he thought, once I win, I'm going to go in and say, okay, guys, look, I'm the president now. And the deep state had other intentions. They said, no, you don't understand how this works. Trump thought he was going to play ball. He was going to bring in some of these cabinet picks for some of the uniparty establishment, but he was not the player they wanted. So they sought to destroy him. This time around, it seems to be quite the opposite. When that Chad Chronister guy, DEA had nomination, And then everyone points out, yeah, he locked up a pastor during COVID lockdowns.
Yep.
We won't stand for it. Trump stated earlier today that he personally removed him, saying, "You're done. Get out."
I like that a lot.
Yeah. Very based. Trump has learned. He's gotten no tolerance for the shenanigans.
I think that's a big part of why so many of the people that have been flouted for nomination or brought up for nomination, why there's so much pushback, because these people are a threat to the established order, right? Like RFK at HUD, Health and, or I'm sorry, not HUD, at Health and Human Services. That's going to make a big difference, right? If you get Tulsi Gabbard as the DNI, that's going to make a big difference in the way that the U.S. looks at intelligence gathering and looks at who is going to be scrutinized by the intelligence services. If you do get Kash Patel in at the FBI, the way that the FBI behaves is going to be significantly different. And I don't know, I don't have any kind of information, or any inside information, but I imagine that these people, if they do get their job, there will be significant changes in the upper management of these bureaucracies, because there are people in the bureaucracies that are going to work against the desires of the administration. That's what Peter Strzok was doing at the FBI. He and I forget the woman's name that was his cohort or whatever, but he was actively working against the president, actively working against what the president had stated he wanted. So you have to do more than just change the people that are the heads of the agencies. You have to get people that are the heads of these bureaucracies, the cabinet, cabinet level, the people that are Secretary of State or whatever. You have to get people that are willing to go in there and get rid of the people that are going to inhibit the job that the president wants done. The president, as the president, he has the authority to say, this is how we are going to execute the daily business of this country, right? The executive is supposed to execute the laws that are passed by Congress. As the executive, he gets discretion as to say, this is how we're going to do it, and these are the things that we're going to focus on. So he needs to have a cabinet that is aligned with his desires and is also empowered to fire people, or at least remove people that are going to inhibit the administration's stated desires. And that's the reason that the president got elected, is because the American people want that. Right. So your Congress people are supposed to pass laws that reflect the desires of the different jurisdictions. So your congressperson is supposed to be the person that's going to go ahead and pass laws for, that are going to represent or they're going to vote in ways that represent your area or whatever. But the president, by being elected by the whole country, ostensibly, he's supposed to execute the desires of the American people when it comes to the way that the administration operates. And you need to have people in these positions at state, at HUD, at HHS, at DOT, at all these cabinet level bureaucracies. You have to have people that are going to actually do the things that the president wants.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.